Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sneaker Updates. This will be Sneaker Updates number 18. If you happen to be new here, this has now become a weekly series on the channel, and if you're not familiar with the series, essentially we go over a variety of different sneakers, that of which got updates for throughout this week. For example, some of those may potentially include some Nike and Off-White, Yeezys, Jordans, and more. So with that short little intro out of the way, why don't we jump right into the first update? Kicking it off, like always, why don't we start off with some Nike and Off-White. Now, with the 10 coming to an end, there aren't many updates, unfortunately. In fact, it's only one, and it's regarding stock for the Air Max 90s that are coming up, that of which we have two colorways. We have the Desert or Air Max 90 releasing on the 17th, along with the Black Air Max 90 Off-White releasing on the 17th. We've known about this for quite a while, but the update for these is that stock actually isn't looking too bad at all. Like I mentioned, it was pretty good, but regarding the numbers, it's supposed to be around 50K for both of them. Black is just supposed to be barely higher than the Desert Or, so honestly, it should be around the same, and despite Black being higher, there's probably going to be more demand on it. So if you're wondering which one is going to do better, even though Black is going to be higher stock, I would still say that the Black is going to do better, but regardless, you should still be going for both. They're both going to do fantastic, especially with that retail only being $160. Of course, you guys know on my Twitter, I'll do a public raffle list for you guys. I'll also probably end up making a How to Cop guide as we edge closer to the 17th, but as of now, it's not necessarily something we have to worry about. I just wanted to give you this brief update on what stock is looking like, and it's not too bad. Obviously, being that it's a Nike and Off-White collab with very high demand, don't expect that it's going to be easy to cop these, but again, it's not ridiculously low stock. But anyway, unfortunately, we don't have much for Nike and Off-White today, so with that out of the way, why don't we move on to some Yeezys, because we got a little more for Yeezys, if I'm going to be honest. So the first thing for Yeezys is that, unfortunately, all throughout January, we do not have any Yeezy drops confirmed, but as February comes, Yeezy drops will resume. So as of now, it's on hold, but don't worry, we got a few drops coming. The second update I wanted to discuss with you guys was the legitimate stock for the 3M Yeezy 350 V2s. This, of course, was for the static release. Now, there were a couple of numbers that were going around, and the first one was the one that Ez Mafia initially put out. And this one caused a lot of controversy because, obviously, Ez Mafia is a slot provider. And evidently, if you are stating that stock is going to be rather low, of course, slot purchases are inevitably going to go up. So despite slot prices for them being $500 or $550, a lot of people ended up purchasing these slot prices because Ez Mafia stated initially that the stock was set to be 5,000 pairs. Now, from the get-go, this was an incorrect number. There were a couple of numbers that were going around, and another incorrect number that was going around was that there was apparently 48,000 total pairs. This was also incorrect because the total volume was only 17,000. I believe I said this in my How to Cop guide, perhaps. If not, it was maybe a video before that or something. And it's still less than 48,000, but my essential point is that Ez Mafia was not even close. It's 3 times more than what Ez Mafia initially stated. So if I'm being honest, no, I don't blame Ez Mafia for stating that stock was 5,000. And honestly, it was the people's choice who decided to purchase those slots for $500 or $550 plus the retail of the shoe, which was $220 to $240. So it actually, in reality, ended up being a lot more than what resale was for these shoes. But that's not Ez Mafia's fault. It's the people's fault who decided to purchase that. I don't necessarily think that it matters that much to them anyway, and the reason this is because if you're willing to spend $550 or so on a slot in addition to the retail, you probably have a lot of disposable income, so it's not really an issue for them. I really don't think anyone really suffered from this. I think that we should just leave this in the past. It's really the final decision of the people, no matter what type of stock Ez Mafia wants to state it is, because they've been into a lot of controversy before when it comes to this, because, again, they are biased, since they are selling slots. They would like it to be more limited, and I'm not saying they intentionally do it because I have no proof of this at all. But the issue is that they are biased, hence they get a lot of accusations for this. So yeah, it's not a big deal. The people who purchase the slots obviously have a lot of disposable income anyway, so no big deal. Let's put it in the past. But anyway, moving on from the stock update, we gotta look at the new 700 V2 from Yeezy Mafia. Honestly, I'm kind of interested to know your opinion on these. I'm not a huge fan of these, although I do actually like the 700 silhouette. I was only able to get one off of Yeezy Supply, and they did drop at 3 a.m. And the very peculiar thing about this release was, for Yeezy Supply US, there was actually no password page that went up. I believe they have done this a couple of times in the past, but it's very odd that they don't do this. I know that Japan had the password page go up, but for the normal Yeezy Supply, the password page never went up. The stock just went live at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. And they actually did end up selling out rather quickly because they were quite limited. But anyway, moving on from the 700 V2, just wanted to give you guys an update regarding the Yeezy 350 V2 because a lot of you guys might be wondering, is that silhouette completely done for 2019, considering the V3 350 is actually supposed to be coming out. And for those of you who like the 350 V2, the good news is that no, they're still going to be making more models of it. But in addition to that, you should also expect the V3. You should expect it to come out in the first quarter of 2019. That's something I'm actually quite excited to see. Anyway, though, with Yeezys out of the way, that was quite a lot for Yeezys. Let's move on to some Jordans. So kicking it off, I got some quick news for you guys. And if you don't have post notifications on, this won't be relevant to you. But if you do have post notifications on, you are going to be rewarded because tonight, or I guess you could say tomorrow, actually, if you're on Eastern Time, at 12 a.m. Eastern Time, Clot 13s will be dropping on Juice Store. Regarding resale, because I know a lot of you guys are going to ask me about this, I do think that all sizes will be profitable, and when it comes to the retail of these shoes, when it came to the last clots, the total was $216 US with shipping to the United States. So it is going to be more than the retail of the shoe, and again, that's only the retail of the previous one. Since this is the same shoe, just a different colorway, I'm assuming it's going to be the same. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about that, and also expect there to be an additional charge for the currency exchange, which would usually be around $7. But regardless of this, I still do think that they are going to be profitable. In fact, if you look at the original ones that released from the clots, they actually were looking pretty bad at first as well, but over time, they actually did rise to quite a significant amount. Even common sizes are looking to be around 400 or so. So yeah, these definitely might be a long hold if you are able to get these in common sizes too, but if you really are skeptical of this release, if you don't think it's going to be profitable with the additional retail price, since it's a different currency, I would recommend going for the smallest sizes possible because those are the ones that are going to be doing the best. But anyway, with that out of the way, moving on, Union Jordan actually pissed a lot of people off. Union Jordan actually had a coming soon post, and basically this got a lot of people thinking that there was a potential restock. Now, this wasn't actually a restock. They actually ended up just posting a video. But of course, a lot of people just wanted to play it safe, and that's understandable. It was some sort of like a Charlie Brown video, kind of cute. But yeah, a lot of people were quite mad at this. But if you were wondering, no, they didn't restock, so you didn't miss out on anything. The only restock that was recent was for the Frenzy app, and that was a while ago. Moving on to the next Jordan update, we now have another Travis Scott Jordan releasing, but unfortunately, for those of you who don't play basketball, this might not be of interest to you. This is for a Jordan 33. I don't know exactly what this shoe is going to look like as of now. It's supposed to be green, I believe. Kind of interested to see what it looks like, but again, it's more of a performance-based shoe, so we'll have these releasing in addition to the two Jordan 1s, the Jordan 1 High and the Jordan 1 Low. And then we also have the Jordan 6 releasing, and then no news for the Jordan 4 Cactus Jack, unfortunately, in green. Of course, when anything pops up, though, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. But that's it for Jordans, so now moving on to some miscellaneous sneakers. Earlier this week, you could have signed up for the PG 2.5 PlayStation in white, and the main thing I wanted to talk to you guys about for this release is basically just comparing the Foot Locker map for these in comparison to the gray pair. Obviously, I think it's important to note that this isn't a direct correlation to stock, but it does illustrate a lot about what stock is looking like. So obviously, when you see all of these locations on the gray pair and then very few on the white pair actually looks more similar to what we saw with the black pair map, which was very hyped. I think this does say a lot about what potential resale may look like. And also, of course, if you want a personal pair, I would not recommend sleeping on these at all. Unlike the gray pair, where they kind of maybe sold for around $20 to $40 profit after the release, I do recommend going for these because with the $110 retail, the profit margin really isn't bad at all when you think about it. And with these being quite limited now, you should also expect the price to rise after the release. Again, of course, it's always up to you what you want to do. I'm just giving out my suggestions, what I noticed from the Foot Locker map. I'm just using my resources and then spilling them out to you guys. But yeah, again, it's a PG 2.5 PlayStation, so don't expect anything nuts. Don't expect to see profit like the black pair, but it's going to be better than the gray pair, I can assure you that. Moving on to the next update, the Bape Adidas Pods and also the NMDs are going to be delayed for Bape US. The only release that was on the 2nd was for in-store releases and also Neighborhood Japan. But Neighborhood Japan only dropped in Japan. Like, they don't ship overseas. It's impossible for them, unfortunately. And then also there's going to be other stores releasing at the end of the month as well. When it comes to resale purposes, I really don't think it's worth it on these. The retail is $180 if you were wondering. I would definitely sit this one out for resale purposes though. But of course, if you want a personal pair, you know, all to you. Moving on to the next update, we got 3 more potential colorways for the Nike Air Fear of God 1s. Already, we saw the light bone pair and the black pair, and we're also seeing those two release again on the 19th in some overseas retailers. Now we got some new colorways. We got an orange colorway, then we also have a turquoise colorway, and actually a black sole colorway that's on the light bone colorway. Moving on to the next update, I would recommend downloading the network app for the Pigeon SBs. The release will be the 6th, just like I mentioned in my video a little while ago. And the final thing I wanted to mention was just ending it off by saying the black toe fragments are not real. If you're seeing those anywhere, those are not going to be releasing. And one more thing, happy birthday, Kristen, from Michael. Hopefully I pronounced that right, but he wanted me to say that. Thought it was cute, so I decided to do it. I'm going to conclude today's video, though. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed or if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on any of the shoes I mentioned today or just future hyped releases. It's that simple, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and good luck on these releases, of course.
I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.